Welcome back to Legacy Masters at Next Level Games in Dandenong, hosted on the Queen's birthday long weekend. I am Sully. I'm amazingly joined with MTG Goldfish writer Sean Brown.
I'm back again.
And we have two pretty amazing deck lists battling it out today. We've got Micheal Mazzolini, I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, on his homebrew deck, No Lands, man.
Yeah, so Micheal Mazzolini, he's actually been playing this a while. It's like black-white pox without pox. He hates it when I call it black-white pox because it does not have pox, but it does have sinkholes, vindicates. Probably the spiciest one is Encroach. It's a black discard spell that chooses a non-land card in your opponent's hand, and they discard it.
Yeah.
So it's a really spicy land destructive brew. Micheal Mazzolini also one of the podcasters on the Malta 3 podcast.
Yeah, Malta 3. We have to say that.
Shout out to the boys there.
Doing some amazing stuff over there.
Yeah, so lovely podcast, lovely audio quality. I think we have John Atkin and Suhan also were at this tournament. They're also part of that crew there. All right, so we're starting off. There's Micheal there.
There is Micheal telling us some banter. And we've also got on the right myself.
Yes.
On Sullied Drazi, or some people like to call it Pimp Drazi. And I'm representing TCM on the right.
So we're commentating from the future.
Yeah.
From the future. So, so you're on your Sullied Eldrazi list. What's the main differences compared to a typical stock Eldrazi list?
So I've been playing Eldrazi for over a year now, and I actually have never net decked this deck at all. So I come from a vintage background, so I went straight into vintage not long after I started playing Magic, to be honest. And the deck that was closest to it during Eldrazi Winter was the shops in vintage. So I built a deck solely around Thorn of Amethysts, Trinispheres, Cavern of Souls, all your soul lands, and the amazing powerhouse that is your Chalice of the Void.
The good old Chalice that ruins most of Legacy.
Yeah. Yep. And so I found when I was a shops build, I just liked stopping people doing what they were doing.
Playing Magic.
Just stop playing Magic and then beat them down with Eldrazi. So, yeah, that's the main difference of mine. And I mainboard Trinispheres and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you've definitely gone for a more kind of prison component. And I know a big thing that you have in your list is also main deck Revokers.
Yeah. I don't think I had them in... Oh, no, I did. I had them in this list.
Yeah, so that's definitely more leaning towards a disruptive side rather than the purely aggressive side of the spectrum. So here... Yeah, so you've mulled to 6 in this one, taken a scry, and I see 2 Mimics, a Thorn of Amethyst.
And a Trinisphere.
While Mike Mazzolini has, I'm not sure, I saw a Leanin Arbiter, a Mox Diamond, and something else.
Yeah, so I'm leading off with a Thorn of Amethyst.
Yep, usually pretty good against most of the format.
Yeah, so it normally slows people down. So we are seeing some standard dual lands in Mazzolini's hand.
Yep.
I must tell you, he told me this after the round. He's playing with the cards that he owns instead of paying extra money for stuff, which is
totally
amazing.
acceptable.
It's amazing.
A lot of these cards are actually, I wouldn't say they're completely wrong either. There's a few here. He's playing the Black-White Fastland, which is actually a really, really reasonable card in its own right. And we just saw a Caves of Koilos as well. So the Thorn, getting some work done. We see Micheal paying 1 mana to accelerate with Mox Diamond, which is a bit of a depressing start. I'm sure he was expecting the Mox Diamond start to be a bit more explosive.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does that for his first turn and passes it over. And what have we got from you?
So floating 2 mana. I think I'm trying to figure out, do I play the Trinisphere
or the Mimic?
The Mimic. Yeah. So it looks like I might be...
I think we're going double Mimic here.
No.
The Trinisphere.
That doesn't feel right at all.
Yes, I think we need an extra mana here.
So we do, so I think I might have accidentally miscounted there.
I think we need to roll back here.
Oh,
I
don't think I picked up on this, because it looks like I'm explaining Trinisphere.
Interesting.
And Yeah, so that's a mistake by me.
All right, so no judge calls on that one.
No judge calls on that. Neither of us picked up on it.
I think in the end, though, with Michael's deck, the Trinisphere is pretty ineffective with the hand that he has, to be honest. He has a Liliana of the Veil, a Crucible of Worlds, and a Leonin Arbiter. So, yeah, definitely not going to be too effective at all, in all honesty. So
sinkholing me.
Love it.
Which is pretty good. Really good.
Wow. And your hand was very mana tight with the City of Traders. So
it was very mana tight. So that's a
sinkhole
wasteland there.
Oh gosh. Love a sinkhole. Do you love a sinkhole?
Yeah, no, I respect the sinkhole. I was never expecting the sinkhole in this format.
Love a sinkhole. That's just one of life's greatest joys.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, and I essentially locked myself out of the game, I found.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's the problem with a Trinisphere sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the Eldrazi list, of course, Trinisphere and Thorn and Chalice, they all have really great powers at imprisoning your opponent. But when you want to cast those little Eldrazi mimics and stuff like that, it makes it a bit of a hindrance at times.
Yeah, it does make it a bit harder. I also play 2 Crucible Worlds in this list as well.
Yeah, for that full kind of lockout kind of effect.
Yeah, so
I know you've in past played a Smokestack as well.
I have played Smokestacks a few times in the deck, just because
lovely,
just
love a Smokestack.
Enjoy those cards immensely.
So it looks like I think Michael is going to cast a Leonin. Okay.
No, coming down with the Crucible. So I think he's going to.
Yeah, because he has 4 mana. Yep. Yeah. So he has 4 mana. So he can cast that Crucible. Oh wow, things are spiraling out of control here. Oh, got a Hymn to Turak as well. Can play his land from the graveyard. So things are looking in pretty nice shape here.
So I know Maz is asking about the interaction between Thorn and Trinisphere. And essentially how it works is alphabetical order, which is pretty funny. So the spheres happen before the Trinisphere. So you have to pay an additional 1, and then Trinisphere checks. Did you pay at least 3? If no, make sure you have.
Yeah, so that's kind of course, the Crucible costs 4 mana there because it already cost 3.
Yeah.
So it's of course still going to be taxed there. And now we see Liliana of the Veil coming down and starting to tick up. So she's going to be discarding some cards and going to rip apart this hand here.
Yeah, it's...
Looks like Maz is discarding.
So I've discarding his second Lily, and I'm discarding the Mimic, which is really interesting.
Which is getting a bit, I guess, uncastable and kind of anemic, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're virtually on top deck mode anyway here because you only have a second Mimic, and I'm not sure what that other card is. There, I see a Ballista that you've just picked up. Yep, so I think that's...
So yeah, I was playing 2 Walking Ballistas in this list.
So it was a Spirit Guide.
So yeah, Spirit Guide to try and cast the other Mimic.
So we need to pressure the Lily, I guess, is what's happening here.
Yeah.
Man, that sinkhole was really on time.
That was a perfect time
Perfect sinkhole. Michael's deck really kind of showing its glory here.
Making me discard the 3rd Mimic.
Yep.
Oh no, make me sacrifice
sack it.
the 3rd
sack
Mimic.
the Mimic on board. What else has he got? So he has a
Lean on Arbiter. I think he's trying to figure out how to pay for it.
How he's going to cast it. Yep. So I think... Hymn to Turak.
Does go the Hymn.
All right. So he takes out a Ballista as well. So completely on top deck mode. Lily in play. How are you feeling, Sully?
Watching it back, this was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But playing against Mazzolini, it was some of the funnest games I played all day. Versing this homebrew deck, it was beautiful. I can't praise this deck any more than
you can't get mad at someone who casts a sinkhole on you on turn 3, right?
Like the last time that I played against Sinkhole was when I was playing the format 93-94. And that's because I won the Sinkhole. So obviously I had to play it.
All right, next up we have Leonin Arbiter. So Leonin Arbiter not going to do much against the Eldrazi deck.
And Bob.
Yeah, and Bob. And giving a lovely show of the empty hands as Lily ticks up.
Spirit Fingers.
Spirit Fingers.
All right. So what are my outs here?
So I think what you really want is I'd imagine a Smasher or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think I'd want Smasher.
So here we have Endless One for
4.
For 4, yep.
So taking 2 damage off that Ancient Tomb.
Yep. So it looks like, of course, this might just get eaten by Lily, I'd imagine, is what's going to happen here. And Bob's just going to start the grind going. So, again, really what you're looking for is a Smasher to crash through and kill Lily on sight, and then hopefully be able to kind of...
And then try and turn the corner.
Yeah, turn the corner. So, yep, so I think we have a missed Bob trigger there.
We did. So we did have a missed Bob trigger.
Yeah, so missed Bob, everyone playing fast and loose. Yep, so Mazzolini pointing at his Bob and the missed trigger, and...
So I think we do have a judge call on this. So the judge is asking, would I
like to put it
on the stack?
Yeah.
I elected no because I don't want to give him any extra cards than he needs it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm explaining to what happened.
Yeah.
He's ticked it up, and then we've discovered the Bob trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty common one when the Bob is missed. Usually just ends up, nope, you don't get it unless you're very... this has happened before where, they kind of miss their Bob trigger, but they're on very, very low life. And the opponent says, do you want them to have the trigger? Yes.
It might kill them.
Because it might kill them. So, that does happen, but it is up to the opponent's discretion.
Yeah.
And of course, as you said, no. Yep. So putting the dice on to remember for next turn.
Yeah. So I'm telling Mazzolini, just a nice little hint that I use when I'm playing with Bob is I put a dice on top of my deck to remind me of those before my draw triggers.
Yeah. So it looks like Mazzolini picked up a Ghost Quarter, which is great because he has Leon and Arbiter in play.
He does.
So I'm not sure if you were playing the basic wastes in this list.
I am playing one single basic waste. I went to search and then he reminds me of the Leon and Arbiter. I'm like, oh, yes. So that is a thing.
You just got strip mined. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Feels real good. It makes me remember that I enjoy vintage.
Yes, exactly. Where strip mines run freely.
Yeah.
Only one strip mine.
Only one.
But enough, I suppose. But yeah, it looks like Lily, I can't really see what the number is there, but I imagine because she's been ticking down and ticking up, and
I think she's on 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's so a bit far from ultimate range, but it looks like probably just going to die to the board at this stage. Yep. So you're down to 14.
Yeah. I think he might have taken some life off
the caves of
the caves, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think he's been tapping it so that it has been irrelevant though, because he has the a Vindicate. Oh, that's lovely. So he takes 3 from the Vindicate as well from the Bob trigger. Yes. And now he draws for turn. So he's got another Lily. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, it looks like Vindicate is just going to happen on, I guess, the Caracas or the Waste. I mean, it's pretty inconsequential here.
It's going to be interesting what he targets.
Yeah, he could target the Waste. I think you just target the Caracas here, actually. Yeah, target the Caracas. Yep.
So I'm tapping it to bounce a target legendary permanent in response.
Legendary creature.
The legendary creature.
There was a bit of coverage I remember from a while ago. It was Paul Rietzel, and there was the Jide on the table, the D&T mirror, and he points with his Caracas to the Jide, and no, it's not the way it works.
Doesn't quite work like that.
Doesn't quite work like that, if only. So pick up a Simeon's Spirit Guide.
Yeah, I believe I did.
Yep. So, again, Bob... Another Vindicate.
So I'm getting a bit excited because he's dying to his own Bob.
Yeah, but I think these will race his death by Bob
yes.
pretty easily. He also drew another Bob for turn, so he can play that Bob and then have lethal on board for next turn.
Yeah.
Or you can just go for a Vindicate, because who doesn't love another Vindicate?
Like, ideally, I want him to vindicate my Trinisphere to help me out here, but it's not going to happen. No chance.
Yeah. So he also has the option of double Liliana, which I don't think is too great. So he can Lily, tick her up, and then tick up Lily again.
Which it seems bad because I've got one card in my hand.
Yeah, it seems pretty useless. Yeah, get him.
So I'm going to wasteland in response.
Yeah, get to wasteland something. No problemo. Yeah. And so, pointing out the Trinisphere, he can't go for that double Dark Confidant.
Yeah, so...
oh, no, wait, he did draw a land for turn, is that right? Yes, so he did draw a land for turn, so he can play the second Bob as well. So he gets to do everything.
Yeah.
He gets to Vindicate and have lethal on board as well. So you're down.
I'm very dead here.
Yeah, very dead. So unless, of course, he hits... I have no idea if he, hits two 5-drops.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't think he has those in his deck, unfortunately. I think Vindicate is actually...
Encroach.
Yeah, so Encroach is the one we've got there. So that, as I said, is the 1-mana discard a non-land card from your opponent's hand. So it's... With him to Turak, you can kind of completely destroy all their resources in their hand before they even get to cast those lands at all.
And we have a reader, which is always good on stream.
Always good, yep. So... Again, the aforementioned Encroach. I think this is kind of the signature card of Micheal Mazzolini of his deck. Really, this is the card I know that he really, really loves. I mean, Sinkholes and Vindicates, they're pretty spicy, but we've seen those before. I don't think anyone's seen an Encroach.
I hadn't seen Encroach until this match.
Yeah, I hadn't seen an Encroach until I met Micheal Mazzolini.
It's pure beauty.
It is pure beauty. So yeah, looks like he's just gonna... tick up Lily just to be super safe.
Making me discard the Chalice.
Yep, and bash in with all the boys. So there you go.
Yep.
All right.
I was secretly hoping that he'd flip some massive cards to his Bobs there and die.
I mean, you get a bit of information with him flipping all those things and stuff like that, so it's never too bad. But yeah, we're on to round 2. So what does Micheal have in his sideboard? I think his main deck is already amazingly geared against Eldrazi with so much land destruction.
Yeah, so in his sideboard he has 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Pithing Needle, 2 Swords to Plowshare, 2 Containment Priests, 2 Ether Sworn Canonists,
2 Deluges,
2 Deluge, 2 Fairy Macabre, and 1 Dread of Night.
Yep, so the only thing I think I would be bringing in is maybe the Plows. Which might be, I'm not sure if you leave in your Chalices here, they might not be great. But just having any kind of removal against Eldrazi is great to blunt that initial assault. And then I imagine, you can, plow a Thought-Knot Seer and then next turn Sinkhole you and cut you off any larger plays. Yeah. So that's probably a reasonable idea. But I think pretty light sideboarding from Micheal Mazzolini here because, of course, there is his main deck's very well geared already.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good. So I'm boarding in 4 Leyline of the Voids because I don't want him to Wasteland lock me.
Yep. So with Crucible of the Worlds.
Yeah. Also, I believe I boarded in 2 All Is Dusts.
Yeah.
Just to board wipe his stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I considered 2 more Trinispheres, but I think they actually are my Expedition Pithing Needles.
Yeah. So I think Pithing Needle's quite good. I actually like boarding down on a lot of the lock pieces in this matchup. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you did, but boarding down on those is kind of reasonable because, as we saw, you don't want to really constrain yourself on mana, and you're actually boarding in a few more non-creature spells. I like the Ratchet Bomb. Looks like the Ratchet Bomb's coming in.
I didn't bring in Leylines. That was wrong. So yeah, All Is Dust, Ratchet Bombs. I think I boarded in a second Jitte, and All Is Dusts.
Yeah, it's a bit hard because he's kind of like a land destruction deck, but he has all these creatures in Bob, in Arbiter, and things like that. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not sure if I actually like Leylines in general. Like Crucible of Worlds plus Wasteland is a strong, piece of the puzzle. But it is, it may not be particularly where you want to be when you're boarding in so many.
Yeah.
I think it looks like a 2 of in Mazzolini's list. But of course, it's so hard when playing against a homebrew, right? What axis are you going to attack it on? What is their main game plan?
It was super hard boarding against this. So I know I did board out Caracas.
Yeah, looks like you're looking at some Chalices as well, bringing those to the front.
Highly considering.
Yeah, I think I can see cutting those and cutting some other stuff. But definitely, as I said, the lock pieces could be very reasonable. Dismember may also be kind of medium. They don't have big threats. You can lean on Jitte to kill Bobs and stuff like that.
I also trim on Mimics a lot when I'm boarding.
Okay.
Purely for the fact that I try and become a bit more lockdown sometimes.
Right. That makes sense. Because Mimic, as we saw in that game, is less conducive to that kind of lock piece game plan.
Mimic does nothing until you have something with it.
Yeah, I think like Mimic especially is really great against decks where you really want to be that aggressive out of the gates deck, especially against combo.
Yeah.
Like turn 1 Mimic into turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. You didn't have the Chalice against the combo deck, but they're on a super fast clock, and you're basically probably going to kill them if you follow up that with like a Smasher or something like that. So yeah, Mimic's really great against those kind of draws. Yeah.
So I am boarding out 2 Thorns, Trinisphere there, Caracas, and I believe they were Dismembers.
Yeah.
They're very much considering, just trying to figure out what my 6th card would be. I think it might be a Mimic just to trim, or I might go down the Endless One route.
Right. So trimming those kind of filler Eldrazi. So not playing Matter Reshape or anything like that in your list?
So I've played it a few times, and I get a lot of people asking me why I don't play Matter Reshaper.
Well, it's always been like the filler Eldrazi.
It just doesn't do enough.
It's just a curve filler kind of guy. I do like the addition of Ballista in particular. He feels like even though he doesn't, like he can trigger Mimic, but not very efficiently. He's only making Mimic bigger, really, when you get to say 6 mana to be able to dump to make him a 3/3, but the flexibility of Walking Ballista is really, really impressive.
He kills a lot of things as well.
I mean, Legacy is so full of small creatures,
and I can also search him off an Eye of Ugin, which a lot of people forget.
Yeah, I can imagine that get to some game states where your opponents, at a very low life total, search up Ballista, play it, shoot you in the face.
Yeah,
giving Eldrazi a fireball is pretty nice.
Which I did do to one of the Salt Mine guys, Stephen Tang, not too long ago.
Right, and one of the weeklies, was it?
Yeah, one of the weeklies that are held at Games Laboratory or Mooney Pond's Next Level Games.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so it looks like we're off to the game 2. Game 2. So you're on the play, which is a good place. Eldrazi always wants to be there because it really leads you to be able to curve out pretty effectively. Yeah. So we're going to R7. Let's see what we got. A bit of banter going on. Bit of banter. Michael Mazzolini drawing his 7-up as well. But yeah, as I said, it's really hard against these kind of homebrew decks. This is why I play Force of Will. Yeah. Just having this kind of blanket answer against random stuff is such a valuable thing to have sometimes, because when you're playing non-blue, all your answers can line up kind of ineffectively. The power of counter spells, right? Yeah. Blue cards are pretty nice. Who would have thought? So
I'm doing the maths in my hand. There's a Chalice. We've got a Warping Whale.
Got an Eye.
We've got Eye, a Temple, a Ratchet Bomb, Mimic.
So this is a bit tough because you have the Eye, you have Chalice, which are, Eye is great because you have the Mimic, but Eye is not great because you have the Chalice. Whoop, so a bit of video issues there. Hopefully those will fix up.
That fixes up. Sorry about that, guys.
Fixes up a bit. There we go. Back to normal. Yeah, you turned all
fuzzy. Maz's hand, we've got an Encroach, 2 Wastelands. Looks like a Sinkhole.
Oh god, that Encroach is going to be so exciting.
Yeah. And I've got an Endbringer as well in hand.
Okay, all right.
So I play
Chalice on 0. I like this. This is good. I mean, you want to empty your hand as fast as possible. And playing out the Eldrazi Temple as well first, which is actually, again, really good, because you see he has the Encroach. If he encroaches your Eye... if he encroached your Temple when you went turn 1 Eye Mimic, you'd be in really bad shape, because you have basically a mana source that doesn't produce mana.
Yeah.
With the Eye of Ugin. So having the Temple still in play... that's really heads up. So good stuff here. Yep. So it takes the Eye. Jesus Christ, encroaches. That's pretty dope. What just happened there?
Yeah, it's not a bad encroach.
So Mazzolini takes 1, of course, from the Caves of Koilos.
He's gonna do a fair bit of reading.
Yep, do a fair bit of reading. I always forget what Endbringer looks like in the foil one. It looks pretty nice.
So yeah, I've got the game day promos. Game day, release day promos.
Yeah, the normal one always looks a bit promiscuous. He's kind of dancing around.
Yeah,
looks a bit like So you've drawn the Urborg, which is a nice addition.
Would have been nice if I had the eye out, because that would have
God.
been beautiful.
Urborg makes Sinkhole castable. Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so
and it gets Warping
Sinkhole.
Wailed. That's really nice. Draws another Warping Wail for turn. So that's great. Looks like Mimic's getting a lot of work done here.
Yeah.
The 2-1 beatdown. All right, Ratchet Bomb is played as well. This is interesting. Since we have the second Warping Wail, we might have wanted to hold on to that. Again, who knows if he has more sorceries to come.
Yeah, it might have been a misplay by myself.
Yeah, a Vindicate would be a bit worrying here.
Yeah.
A Vindicate or another Sinkhole. But yeah, Warping... How have you found Warping Wail? I know lots of people are kind of medium-ish on it.
Look, Warping Wail actually is a powerhouse. A lot of people don't quite realise how much of a powerhouse that is. It has 3 modes, and they're all very relevant. So you got your first mode, exiling a creature with power or toughness 1 or less.
So here we have Dark Confidant on the other side of the table.
You've got your Deathrite Shamans. You've got your Thalia. You've got so much legacy staples. Second one is countering a sorcery spell, which essentially hits Show and Tell, and
helps
we see, Sinkhole.
Yeah, it helps out against a lot of random combo matchups.
Yeah, and then the last ability is making a 1/1 Scion, which helps me ramp. So sometimes if I don't quite have enough mana, it helps me do it in the end of their turn, so I can cast a Reality Smasher in mine. It also is amazing against Dredge because it's a sack ability, so I can blow up their bridges when I want to blow them up.
Yeah,
so instant speed.
So I'm not sure if you're playing the Smuggler's Copters that you've been adopting in this list here.
So I'm not playing any Smuggler's Copters in this list, but they are very new additions to my list, and they have
definitely really synergized nicely with the Warping Whales, because the whale, sometimes it can be a bit of a dead card when the other 2 modes are unimpressive, and of course with Eldrazi you just want to be curving out sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But then suddenly the third mode, it's no longer just make a 1/1. It's a attack with a 3/3 flyer and loot. So that's a nice addition. Gives the cards a bit more utility.
Yeah, it does a lot of work.
All right, so another Wasteland from Mazzolini hits your only other land. Now Mimic is getting plowed. Yeah.
Yes.
Mimic is getting plowed off the cave, so he takes 1 from the caves to plow that Mimic. And he's gone farming. And at least you can tick up Ratchet Bomb to blow up Bob now without killing your own Mimic.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Is that another Vindicate?
That is another Vindicate.
So that should put him to 9, I believe.
Yeah, so it looks like he might actually end up dying to his Bob here.
Yeah.
He's very low on life, so he may end up dying to his Bob. Little Eldrazi Mimic got in enough damage. Did it for the big boys.
Yeah, Mimic actually has won me a lot of games just by itself, just consistent 2 damage.
2-1 beat 1. Yeah, I love a bit of 2-1 beatdown. Love attacking with Revoker. Love attacking with Thal. These are actually the pure joys in Legacy for me. Attacking with essentially Bronze Sables.
Yeah.
That's quite great.
It feels good.
And look, Micheal Mazzolini even getting in on it with his Dark Confidant smashing in there. All right, so it looks like he's going to Vindicate the Ratchet Bomb. So what's going to happen?
So I'll blow up his Bob in response because it was on 2.
Yep.
Which I didn't really want to do because he's losing a lot of damage to his Bob.
The hard part is, though, he might get such an overwhelming advantage and maybe be able to just, like, Liliana target himself and sack the Bob once his life total gets a bit too low.
Yeah, exactly.
So it may... I do like actually getting rid of the Bob. Bob is always bad, no matter how low their life total is.
So I have a Smasher in hand, a Thought-Knot Seer in hand.
Yeah, so it looks like we're discarding...
A Warping Whale.
Looks like we're discarding Endbringer.
I think it's a Revoker as the last card.
That's pretty good against Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yep, so Endbringer going to the bin, looking very ambitious. Warping Whale also good against Liliana of the Veil. Can a surprise make a card to sacrifice. Make a guy to sacrifice. So that's also neat little bit of utility. All right, Wasteland in play, which is medium. Because,
very medium. I'm looking for a Soul Land.
But here, as you said, you have the basic wastes in your deck, so you can get Ghost Quartered, and Maz is probably expecting the Ghost Quarters basically to be complete bonkers.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't expect you to really have any basic lands. I know I Path to Exiled you
recently,
just this Thursday, and
yes.
You said I'll go get a basic, and I was like, well, that's not good for me.
That's not good at all.
That's not good for me. Yep. So Liliana ticking up again, and here having a bit of a tank over it. Yep. So Smasher and a land again. Smasher looking way too ambitious.
I think that's a Blooming Marsh, the new
yeah,
fast land.
The black. The black-white fast land.
We have a bit of a fight there.
Yeah, so he ghost quarters the wasteland, and you in response wasteland his other ghost quarter, which actually I don't mind, because even if you get your basic wastes, just ghost quartered again.
Yeah, I missed my search trigger.
No.
Oh
so
no,
he
yeah,
targeted,
the game state counters it.
Yeah,
That's right.
so he targeted with the ghost quarter, and then you wasteland in response, and then so we've drawn another wasteland, but here Mazzolini's drawn mono ghost quarters.
Yeah, he's on the ghost quarter train. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, both players getting a bit mana screwed.
Yeah,
which is I guess where Mazzolini wants to be. All right, so interestingly, Mazzolini discarding his Bob, probably wary of his life total here.
Oh, I think it might have been his last card.
No, so he could have cast the Bob here.
Oh yeah, probably should have. Yeah. Oh,
and then then ticked up Lily, but I think he's going just straight for the Lily ultimate. That's what he's doing here. All right, so again, you're getting ready to smash his lands apart. So we're really, I mean, Liliana ultimate isn't even that great here.
Yeah,
right?
like I just keep my land.
So that's the plan, right? Where you just end up, hopefully making enough land drops to play Revoke Lily. And then actually you can run away with the game here.
Yeah.
We see a Shambling Vent coming into play. I love Shambling Vent. This card's actually way cooler than people give it credit for. I mean, manlands in general are always pretty good. But Shambling Vent, the lifelink on that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does a lot of work.
In a deck such as this.
I am keeping onto a card so I can play my Revoker.
Yeah, just need a land. It's really just a land you're looking for.
I'm looking for any of my soul lands, so
any land really.
Just any land right now.
Another land destruction from Maz would be very good though. But yeah, this what are we seeing here? Another 3-cost spell, Vindicate. So as we were saying, another land destruction spell. Yep, discards the Jide. All right, yes.
There it is.
We've got the Ancient Tomb taking 2.
Couldn't do that any faster. He gets upset, and I am doing my little happy dance.
Yep, so Revoker on Lily. Now, this is, we're getting to a great spot here. I mean, even if Mazzolini draws some more very medium land destruction spells, you don't care. You're going to attack him with this 2-1 to death.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch his Revoker.
Yeah. So, yeah, as long we're just trying to fade a removal spell. Ballista, another great addition. This attacks him down to 5. Next turn, he goes down to 3. And then we're pretty close.
Oh, he draws a Toxic Deluge, which is so hard because he pays the mana and I kill him, I think. So I think I've got his life total wrong. I think he's actually on 3 right now.
Right, okay. So that's I guess Mimic got in for a bit more damage than we actually thought. So if he deluges for right, so if he deluges for, I think we've probably missed a few Caves of Koilos.
Yeah, I think we have. He actually might be on 2.
So I think we've actually missed a few Caves of Koilos damage here. Which means that that deluge he can't actually cast it. So, and it just kills him. So he casts it and dies, and then next turn he would also die. So
which really
again, so Walking Ballista, a bit of a powerhouse there, but again, sorry viewers for the mix up with the life totals. Again,
Caves of Koilos
is hard to track. So we're on to game 3, kind of stealing that game away there. The Ancient Tomb, exactly what you needed, gets the Revoker into play, and gets in enough damage. The 2-1 beatdown really kind of
it does
triumph
a lot of
in
work.
the end.
Being patient is a really good technique sometimes, and that's what I was trying to do. Just find that soul land, get the Revoker out, name your Lily, then kill you.
Yeah, so I think especially... I mean, that's the problem sometimes with these decks that are purely reliant on land destruction. You need to kind of get ahead, destroying all their lands, and then stick a threat and kind of, keep going.
Yeah.
We saw that Bob eventually died, and then, I mean, Lily was fine as a bit of pressure, but her ultimate wasn't doing much, and Revoker was really the card that sealed the deal.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a bit of change up with sideboarding here. I'm imagining you're cutting your chalices on the draw.
Yeah, cutting my chalices and bringing in ley lines.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot, actually, because, Chalice loses a lot of power when you're on the draw, especially since he has, really the only 1-mana spell we're hitting is Encroach and Swords to Plowshares from the sideboard here.
I also saw most of his deck is so varianting of
variant
cost.
in mana cost. So it's, Chalice is not going to pull its weight on the draw in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, maybe even on the play it might not be even too impressive, but again, who knows what's in his deck.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, cutting off 2 drops at least could have been pretty reasonable. So yeah. That was a very fun game.
That was so interesting.
Lots of Vindicates, I mean, that's Magic how I enjoy it. 2-1 beatdown, Vindicates, Wastelands.
Very back and forth.
No one with any permanence, so that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice there.
So, while they're shuffling up, you're one of the members of the Salt Mine.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. The Legacy podcast that we sporadically release. We recently had our 15th episode with some of our American friends talking about GP Vegas, which was a sweet one. I'd recommend listening to it.
Yeah, I did listen to that, and that was pretty amazing to listen to.
Full of banter. I would highly recommend an 18+ rating on it.
yeah, no, I would agree. 18+. Oh, actually, no, probably 16+.
16+, sure. I think Michael Mazzolini's Malta 3 podcast it's much more family friendly.
It is very much more family
friendly. There's a lot of great content creation coming out of Melbourne in particular. I mean, yourself with TCM, lots of events coming out from them. This commentary as well coming out. I know you did the Vintage and the Highlander already. So
yeah, we did. We had some very amazing help as well from the community to do some commentary on this. Yeah,
so I mean, Melbourne really firing on all cylinders when it comes to Eternal Magic, which is really great to see, because there was once kind of a bit of a lull, but now, I mean, especially Legacy, this event had 90 players, which is such an amazing kind of turnout.
It is an amazing turnout.
Yeah, I think the year before that was 60 or
68, I believe.
Yeah, so kind of increased by quite a margin,
which is impressive because Next Level Games changed stores over this weekend.
Yeah,
they went to a smaller venue.
Yeah, they said to us if they didn't change stores, we would have been able to probably go over 100 people, because they actually had to cap. They actually had to cap the event, which is a bit unfortunate. But I mean, who can complain when you have such a big turnout?
Yeah, exactly. So me leading with 2 Leyline of the Voids.
2 Leyline of the Voids. I mean, that's not really what you want to see. 1 is enough, probably. But yeah, and Maz leading off on the Shambling Vent, and you leading off on the signature turn 1
Mimic.
Eldrazi Mimic. So taking 2 off that Soul Land. All right, so next we have a Blooming Marsh. So again, the black-green fast land. Oh, jeez.
Just the stock standard sinkhole, man.
Stock standard turn 2 sinkhole. Oh my god. Lovely. Oh, and Maz's hand is actually stocked here.
It is.
He's got a
nice.
Hymn to Turak. He's got a Liliana. He's got a Bob. I mean, if he has a 3rd mana source, he is in.
He's sitting pretty. So I believe I named Spirit there, so that I can cast my Simian Spirit Guides.
Right. Yeah. Because of course the uncounterability isn't a concern in this matchup. Yeah.
But getting down threats really is.
Yep. So he has his 3rd land. So this is looking a bit hairy. So next we have Hymn to Turak.
So I like to just tell people which ones am I keeping and which ones am I getting rid of,
rather than the tedious dice roll.
It just takes too long.
It does. It does. Oh wow! So that actually hit exactly what you want, to be honest. Now you're left with Endbringer and Reality Smasher basically uncastable in your hand.
Oh.
So it's really up to the Mimic to get the job done again. Which is looking kind of unlikely with the Liliana that's coming up. Oh, the Ghost Quarter as well. Hitting the cavern. So I guess you weren't running the wastes, were you?
No, I think I've just forgotten.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, I did cut it from this list.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
no, so yeah, I upped my count of Urbogs and Caracas.
All right, so Liliana on turn 3. Again, a punishing play, eating the Mimic, but you drawing the land off the top and having the Needle for the Liliana. So the Revoker and Needle effects doing a lot of good work for you here. Maz has 2 Encroachers in hand, which are looking pretty lackluster now. I mean, that's the nature of the card. Great on turn 1, pretty medium on any other turns. So he gets to look at a pile of Reality Smashers.
Yeah.
A Reality Smasher and an Endbringer, which is not particularly great. But he has Bob, so this is good. So actually, like, if you just keep ripping lands, you can do a bit of smash work here.
Yeah, so
you draw another Needle.
I think I'm naming Ghost Quarter or Wasteland. I'm not sure.
I like that. That's a really good name here if we name Wasteland or Ghost Quarter, because all we want to do is develop our mana and cast this Smasher.
And because, he can't play his Crucible Worlds because I've leylined him out.
Yep. So we're kind of removing all that...
there we go.
Speaking of Crucible World, we're kind of removing all those issues with the mana denial here. But, he still has the Bob on board, and you still need to draw lands.
My Ancient Tomb's going to do a lot of work for Mazzolini.
It looks like it will be doing quite a bit of damage. Oh, wow. So, of course, we forget as well that Shambling Vent gets to smash in there as well. So, here we're taking 4 damage from this here, and what a combo.
Yeah.
Lifelink and Dark Confidant. Pretty lovely. So, Shambling Vent's a 2/3. So, Maz will be gaining 2 life, and... now, you pointing out, damn, I drew my Urborg. Now you don't have to pay life for that Caves of Koilos. All right, so
revealing a land to Bob.
Yep, the black-white fast land for the draw off Bob there, and a scrub land to play as well. So yeah, Mazzolini's hand full of gas, but a lot of the cards aren't actually doing too much.
Yeah, they look pretty dead. He's
Yep,
going to
so
encroach to see the
same
cards
thing.
again. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember they were there.
Yeah. I think he's apologizing.
He's like, oops. They are the same cards. They have not changed.
Yep. So Shambling Vent and Bob crashing in once more. 6 damage. And Maz for 4 damage, sorry. And, yep. So, and Maz gaining 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, looking pretty hairy for you now. I mean, again, you need to draw runner lands here. And it looks like that all we can do is cast a Jite.
Yeah, Jite. This is...
Vindicate. I think this seals the deal now. Vindicate off the top. Yes. That's exactly what he was looking for.
Pretty much just locks it out.
Yeah, that's what he was looking for. Just if Needle's naming Wasteland, then he just needs to draw either a Sinkhole or a Vindicate to kind of wrap up your ability to cast anything. And again, he could try and go for a attack you down to 2 to cut off your Ancient Tomb entirely, or you can blow up your Ancient Tomb.
Yeah.
So either one works, right? With this play. So I personally like Vindicating straight away here.
So he's just going straight for the land, I think.
Yep, going straight for the land because it doesn't change the clock at all. Next turn he gets to attack with Bob and Shambling Vent anyway. So it looks like the
so I must have named
Needle,
Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, it was on Ghost Quarter. Yeah. So I mean the odds are basically the same. So I don't think it's unfair to say whichever call. Just a bit unlucky that he drew the Wasteland there.
Drawing a Simian Spirit Guide there.
Yep. And that wraps up the match. So Micheal Mazzolini winning with a lot of land destruction against Eldrazi.
Yeah, so it was an amazing deck. I have to give him mad props for that deck.
It's very, very cool. Again, kind of has the same kind of Pox-like feel without any Pox.
Yeah.
Instead, we got Sinkholes, Vindicates, and as I said, Micheal Mazzolini's signature card, Encroach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to the TCM covering the Legacy Masters, and coverage also being done by Salt Mine guys as well.
Yeah, that's me.
So stay tuned for round 3, guys.
Thank you.